Consider for a moment the very nature of wealth and the instruments we employ to represent it. The pieces of paper and digital entries that dictate our access to resources and services hold a peculiar power over our lives, shaping our ambitions, anxieties, and societal interactions. Yet, upon closer examination, the intrinsic value of these tokens appears surprisingly elusive. This exploration seeks to delve into the fundamental question of whether money, in its essence, is merely a shared delusion, a construct of collective belief that underpins our complex economic systems. The premise that money might be an illusion stems from the observation that its value is not inherent in its physical form. A banknote, for instance, is simply a piece of paper, and a digital currency exists only as data within computer networks. Their perceived worth arises not from their material composition but from our collective agreement to accept them as a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and a store of value. This video, presented by Money Deconstructed, will embark on a journey to dissect the psychological and societal frameworks that give rise to this shared belief, tracing the origins of money and contemplating the potential consequences should this collective faith ever waver. Through a rigorous analysis of historical precedents, psychological principles, and societal structures, we aim to deconstruct the seemingly concrete reality of money. By examining its evolution from rudimentary barter systems to the intricate financial instruments of the modern era, we can begin to appreciate the profound role that human psychology and societal consensus play in maintaining its perceived value. This intellectual endeavor will not only illuminate the abstract nature of wealth but also prompt critical reflection on the stability and potential vulnerabilities inherent in our reliance on this shared delusion. To embark on a meaningful deconstruction of money, it is imperative to first establish a clear understanding of its fundamental characteristics and functions. Traditionally, money is defined by its capacity to serve as a medium of exchange, facilitating transactions without the inefficiencies of barter. Furthermore, it acts as a unit of account, providing a common measure of value for goods, services, and debts, enabling meaningful economic comparisons and calculations. Finally, money is expected to function as a store of value, allowing individuals to preserve their purchasing power over time. However, the tangible forms that money has taken throughout history, from cowrie shells and precious metals to paper currency and digital codes, underscore its evolving and ultimately abstract nature. While early forms of money often possessed some intrinsic value, such as the utility of a commodity or the inherent worth of gold, modern fiat currencies derive their value solely from government decree and the collective belief in their acceptance. The shift towards increasingly intangible forms of money, particularly with the rise of digital finance, further highlights the conceptual foundation upon which our monetary systems are built. Therefore, to truly grasp the essence of money, we must move beyond its physical manifestations and recognize it as a social technology, a system of shared understanding that enables economic interaction. Its power lies not in its material properties but in its universally accepted role as a representation of value. This inherent abstraction is crucial to understanding the potential for its illusory nature, as the value we ascribe to it is ultimately contingent upon a collective agreement that can, in theory, be subject to change or even dissolution. The emergence of money as a social construct can be traced back to the limitations inherent in earlier forms of economic exchange, most notably the barter system. Barter, while a direct form of exchange, suffers from significant inefficiencies, primarily the requirement of a double coincidence of wants, where both parties must possess something the other desires. This cumbersome process necessitated the development of a more fluid and universally accepted medium of exchange to facilitate trade and specialization. Over time, various commodities began to serve this purpose, often chosen for their durability, portability, divisibility, and relative scarcity. Examples range from livestock and grains to precious metals and gemstones. The selection of these early forms of currency was often driven by practical considerations and the gradual establishment of social conventions around their value. This nascent stage of monetary evolution highlights the foundational role of shared agreement within communities in recognizing and accepting certain items as having economic significance. The subsequent development of coinage and paper currency represented further steps in the abstraction of money. Coinage, with its standardized weight and purity, offered greater convenience and trust in transactions. Paper currency, initially representing claims on reserves of precious metals, eventually evolved into fiat money, where its value is decreed by government and maintained through public confidence. This historical progression underscores the increasing reliance on collective belief and institutional frameworks to underpin the value and functionality of monetary systems. The pervasive desire for money transcends its purely transactional utility and delves into the realm of human psychology. At a fundamental level, money provides access to the resources necessary for survival and well-being, fulfilling basic needs such as food, shelter, and healthcare. This instrumental value creates a powerful incentive for individuals to acquire and accumulate monetary wealth as a means of ensuring security and comfort. Furthermore, money often becomes intertwined with notions of social status and self-worth. In many societies, financial success is equated with achievement and respect, leading to a psychological drive to acquire wealth as a marker of social standing. The desire for relative wealth, or having more than others, can fuel competitive behaviors and shape individual aspirations. This social comparison aspect highlights how the perceived value of money is influenced by our interactions and observations within a broader societal context. Beyond these tangible and social motivations, psychological biases can also contribute to the perceived importance and value of money. Concepts such as loss aversion, the tendency to feel the pain of a loss more strongly than the pleasure of an equivalent gain, can amplify our desire to avoid financial setbacks and accumulate wealth as a buffer against potential losses. Similarly, the endowment effect, where we tend to value things we possess more highly than things we do not, can reinforce the perceived worth of our existing monetary holdings. These psychological factors underscore the deeply ingrained nature of our relationship with money. While individual psychology plays a significant role in our perception of money, its true power and stability lie within the societal structures and collective beliefs that uphold its value. Governments, through the establishment of legal tender laws, mandate the acceptance of certain currencies for the payment of debts and taxes, providing a foundational level of demand and legitimacy. This governmental endorsement is crucial in fostering widespread trust and acceptance of a particular form of money within a nation's economy. The intricate network of banking and financial institutions further reinforces the societal construct of money. Fractional reserve banking, a common practice where banks hold only a fraction of their deposits in reserve, operates on the assumption that not all depositors will demand their funds simultaneously. This system relies heavily on public confidence in the solvency of banks and the overall stability of the financial system. Any significant erosion of this trust can lead to bank runs and systemic financial crises, demonstrating the fragility of this collective belief. Moreover, the pervasive use of money in everyday transactions and the ingrained social norms surrounding its acceptance contribute significantly to its sustained value. From purchasing groceries to paying for services, the seamless and widespread use of money reinforces its role as a universally recognized medium of exchange. This continuous cycle of acceptance and utilization solidifies the collective belief in its value, making it an integral and seemingly indispensable component of modern society. Despite the seemingly robust societal structures that support the value of money, its foundation ultimately rests upon the often tenuous ground of collective belief. History is replete with examples of instances where this belief has faltered, leading to dramatic economic consequences. Hyperinflation, characterized by a rapid and uncontrolled increase in prices, erodes the purchasing power of money at an alarming rate, rendering it virtually worthless as individuals lose faith in its ability to store value. The collapse of the Weimar Republic's currency in the 1920s and more recent episodes in countries like Zimbabwe serve as stark reminders of the devastating impact of a loss of confidence in a nation's monetary system. Bank runs, where a large number of depositors simultaneously withdraw their funds from a bank due to fears of its insolvency, further illustrate the fragility of collective belief in financial institutions. The failure of even a few prominent banks can trigger widespread panic and contagion, leading to systemic financial crises that can have severe repercussions for the entire economy. These events highlight the interconnectedness of the financial system and the crucial role of public trust in maintaining its stability. In the contemporary global landscape, various factors could potentially trigger a decline in the collective belief in existing monetary systems. Economic crises, geopolitical instability, technological disruptions, and even widespread social unrest can erode public confidence in the future value and stability of currencies. While the complete collapse of money as a concept might seem improbable in the near term, history teaches us that the perceived value of any specific form of money is ultimately contingent upon the collective faith of its users, a faith that is not immutable. While money serves as a convenient and widely accepted representation of value, it is crucial to distinguish it from the concept of true wealth. Genuine wealth encompasses a broader spectrum of resources, skills, and assets that hold intrinsic value beyond their monetary representation. These include tangible resources such as land, raw materials, and infrastructure, as well as intangible assets like knowledge, skills, human capital, and strong social networks. Focusing solely on monetary wealth can create an illusion of abundance or scarcity that may not accurately reflect underlying realities. For instance, an individual with a large sum of money in a hyperinflationary environment may possess a significant nominal value but have limited access to actual goods and services. Conversely, a community with strong social bonds, abundant natural resources, and valuable skills may possess considerable real wealth even if their monetary holdings are modest. Therefore, a critical deconstruction of wealth necessitates looking beyond the monetary veil and recognizing the fundamental importance of real resources, human capabilities, and societal well-being. While money plays a vital role in facilitating economic activity, it is ultimately a tool, a means to an end rather than the end itself. True and sustainable wealth lies in the capacity to produce goods and services, to innovate and to foster a thriving and resilient society, factors that extend far beyond the mere accumulation of monetary tokens. In conclusion, our exploration into the nature of money reveals a complex interplay of psychological and societal constructs that underpin its perceived value. From its origins in rudimentary barter systems to the sophisticated financial instruments of the modern era, money has evolved as a tool of human ingenuity, facilitating exchange and enabling economic organization. However, the analysis also highlights the profound role of collective belief in sustaining its functionality, particularly in the case of fiat currencies where intrinsic value is largely absent. The historical record provides ample evidence of the fragility of this shared delusion, with instances of hyperinflation and financial crises demonstrating the potential for a rapid erosion of faith in monetary systems. While money serves as a vital lubricant for economic activity, it is essential to recognize its abstract nature and to differentiate it from the concept of true wealth, which encompasses a broader range of tangible and intangible assets. By understanding the illusory aspects of money, we can foster a more nuanced and critical perspective on its role in our lives and in society as a whole. As we navigate an increasingly complex and interconnected global economy, a deeper understanding of the fundamental nature of money becomes ever more crucial. Money Deconstructed aims to continue this exploration, providing insights into the often hidden mechanisms that shape our financial realities. By questioning the seemingly concrete nature of wealth and delving into the underlying psychological and societal forces at play, we can strive for a more informed and resilient approach to managing our economic lives. We encourage you to reflect on the ideas presented in this video and to share your own perspectives on the nature of money. Do you believe that money, in its essence, is indeed a shared delusion? What personal experiences have shaped your understanding of its value and limitations? We invite you to engage in the comments section below, sharing your thoughts and contributing to a broader discussion on this fascinating and fundamental topic. Your insights and questions are invaluable to the Money Deconstructed community. If you found this exploration thought-provoking and informative, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Furthermore, we are always eager to explore new facets of the financial world, so feel free to suggest topics for future videos in the comments. Your engagement helps us to create content that is relevant and meaningful to you. Finally, if you are interested in delving deeper into the intricacies of finance and economics, be sure to subscribe to the Money Deconstructed channel and turn on notifications. This will ensure that you are alerted to our latest videos, allowing you to continue your journey of financial literacy and critical thinking with us. Thank you for joining us on this exploration, and we look forward to continuing the conversation in the comments below.